Hello, good morning students. If you remember, I repeat again that in the last period we completed the metallic and non-metallic character. Metallic character is the tendency to donate the electron. Non-metallic character is the tendency to gain the electron. Actually, these two tendency of donating and accepting the electron is decide the reactivity of element. Element is easily donate the electron, it means is most reactive. Element easily accept the electron, it means also the element is most reactive. So this same things let we connect with the new topic today, that is a chemical reactivity. Reactivity, we can say that, or it means tendency to lose or gain of electrons. Metals, greater the tendency to lose the electron, that means the metals are more reactive. In case of candle, metals, the reactivity is decided on the basis of the tendency of losing electron. Thus, we can say that greater the tendency to lose the electron, greater the reactivity of that metal. In a similar way, in case of non-metals, greater the tendency to gain the electron, greater the reactivity. It means the easily non-metal accept the electron will be the most reactive. The same thing, how it changes, how it varied in the periodic table. Let me start in the form of trends in chemical reactivity. First of all, let me start with the across the period. Across the period, when one move left to right, how the reactivity is changes, how it varies. The chemical reactivity of element first decreases and then increases when one move from left to right in a period. The reactivity is first decreases and then increases. How it is? Let me take the one example of the third period elements. Elements are sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur and chlorine. Sodium atomic number 11, magnesium 12, aluminium 13, silicon 14, phosphorus 15, sulfur 16, chlorine 17. Sodium electronic configuration, we can say that its electronic configuration is 281. Magnesium electronic configuration is 282. Aluminium electronic configuration is 283. Silicon electronic configuration is 284. Phosphorus electronic configuration is 285. Sulfur 286 and chlorine 287. Now, how its reactivity changes, let me consider it. Sodium having only one electron in the last shell, so it's very easy to donate for the sodium. So readily it donate the electron. It means it is the most reactive. Magnesium have the 2 electron in its last shell, so it will be take the double time than the sodium to donate the electrons, as it have the 2 electron for the donations. So it will be takes the more time, so it is little less reactive than the sodium. Third is the aluminium having the 3 electron in its last shell. So again further it takes the more time to donate is 3 electron on as compared with the magnesium. So further again it is a less reactive than the magnesium. So we can say that the reactivity decreases from sodium to magnesium, magnesium to aluminium. Then the next element is silicon. It have the 4 electron. It share the electron, donate the electron or accept the electron, that depends upon totally the conditions of the reaction. So being a 4 electron in its last shell, it is the element which takes the more time for the reaction, so its reactivity is least. When we move for the phosphorus, it have the 5 electron in the last shell, that is more than half. So it require only the 3 electrons, so it takes the 3 electron from the outside. So it is a little bit more reactive than the silicon. When we move for the sulfur, sulfur have the 6 electron in its last shell. It require only the 2 electrons, so further more fastly it takes the electron as compared with the phosphorus. Then when we move for the chlorine, chlorine will be having the 7 electron in its last shell, only require the 1 electron, so it will be takes 1 electron more readily So it means chlorine is more reactive than the sulfur, sulfur is more reactive than the phosphorus. So we can say that the variation of reactivity is that the extreme elements are the most reactive. The reactivity goes on decreases up to the 14th group, that is a 4th A group, and then further it is increases, and lastly 17th group, that is a 7A group elements are the most reactive. So first A, that is the first group elements are reactive, and the 17th 7th A group are the most reactive. So we can say that the most reactive class of elements are extreme corners of left and right in the periodic table or in a particular period. Now let me see how the chemical reactivities changes down a group. When we move down the group, tendency to lose the electron is increases. Thus, the reactivity of metal is increases because the metals have the tendency to lose the electron. So, in case of metal, the reactivity is increases down the group. Whereas, the tendency to gain the electron is decreases down the group. Thus, for the non-metal, the reactivity is decreases down the group. Let me take the example of first A group elements, that is a lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. When we move from lithium to the cesium, the easiness of donating the electron is increases, thus the reactivity is increases. That is always in case of metals. Now if we will take elements of a group 7A, that is a 17th group element, that is a halogen group. Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine and styrene. The tendency of accepting the electron is decreases down the group, thus the reactivity is decreases. Why the reactivity is decreases? Because of the increase in the atomic size and decrease in the nuclear charge. As the easiness of accepting the electron is decreases, so the reactivity is decreases in case of non-metals. There are the few gradation in the physical properties also given in our syllabus. Let me just revise them. The melting and boiling point of metal decrease down the group. Let me take the example again. That is the lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium and cesium. Their melting point and boiling point goes on decreases down the group. And that's why the sodium and potassiums are the soft metal, can be easily cut by the knife. In a similar way, the melting point and the boiling point in case of non-metal is increases down the group. That we can say that the fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, in this group, fluorine and chlorine are the gases. Bromine is a liquid. Iodine is as a solid. So it is due to only the increase in the melting and boiling point of element down the group, it is increases. Across the period, melting and boiling point, it increases up to the group 14, that is a 4th A group, and then it is little bit decreases. Next property is density. Across the period, the density is increases gradually to maximum, and then it is slightly decreases, because in the period the starting elements are the metals, and when we move from left to right, the non-metallic elements are there on the right side, and the non-metallic elements have the low density. That's why their density is slightly decreases. And down the group, it is increases gradually. Down the group, density is increases gradually, because when we move down the group, the atomic mass goes on increases, and mass is directly proportional to the density. So the density is it goes on increases down the group. Now we will start with the new periodic properties, that is a ionization potential. It is also known as ionization energy or ionization enthalpy. In short, it is called as a IP or IE, that is a ionization potential or ionization energy. What do you mean by this? Let me start with its definition. It is defined as the energy required to remove an electron from a neutral isolated gaseous atom and convert it into a positively charged gaseous ion is called as the ionization potential, or it is also called as the ionization energy. It is also called as the first ionization potential. Now this same definition we can understand it. Let's consider the structure of an atom. This is the nucleus in the center. This is the nucleus in the center. It is the first shell, second shell and the third shell in an atom. The electron which is present in this last shell, it is attracted by the nucleus by means of force of attraction that is called as nuclear charge. If we want to remove this electron, there should be some amount of energy should be utilized or applied to overcome this nuclear charge, so that the electron can become free from this and it can be easily donated. That is the same amount of energy which is used to overcome this nuclear charge to remove this electron. That energy is actually called as the ionization potential. And due to this process, an atom, neutral atom, is get converted into the ion. That's why this energy is called as the ionization energy. So I repeat again the definition of this ionization energy. It is the energy required to remove an electron from a neutral isolated gaseous atom. A single atom should be there in its gaseous state. From that atom, the energy is required to remove, and after donating the electron, it converts into a positively charged gaseous ion is called as the ionization potential, that is IP or IE. We can represent it generally that M is any element in its gaseous state, it donating the electron, forming the positive charge of this element, that is a metal cation. The unit to measure this ionization potential is electron volt per atom. Remember, this can be asked in filling the blanks. In SI unit, it is measured in terms of kilojoule per mole. Can be asked in exam as directly to write the unit of ionization potential. The SI unit of ionization potential is dash, that is a kilojoule per mole. This way also can be asked. So remember, the unit to measure the electron volt to ionization energy is electron volt per atom, or the SI unit is kilojoule per mole. Now the factor on which ionization potential depends. The first factor is atomic size. Greater the atomic size, lesser the ionization potential. How we can say that? If the atomic size will be greater, then the last electron present in the last shell will be loosely held by the nucleus. As it is loosely held by the nucleus, so very less energy is required to remove it. Thus, ionization potential will be less. The second factor is nuclear charge. Greater the nuclear charge, greater the ionization potential, because if the nuclear charge will be stronger, then the electron will be held by the nucleus very tightly, very strongly, and due to this, the more amount of energy is required to remove this electron. Thus, ionization potential will be greater. Now, its variation, how it changes in the periodic table, that is the trends in the ionization potential in a periodic table. In a periodic table, if we will consider the variation of any property, we have to consider it how it changes in the period and how it changes in the group. Let me start with the period. Across the period, as one move from left to right, ionization potential increases. From left to right, ionization potential increases because if we remember, in the last period we also completed the atomic radius. Atomic radius is decreases left to right. Why? Because when we move from left to right in a period, atomic number is increases, that is effective nuclear charge is increases. As the elements belongs to the same period, so they have the same number of a shell. It means the atomic size is also the same. But due to the increase in the nuclear charge, the little contraction is taken place in the atomic size. Thus, atomic size is decreases left to right and nuclear charges increases. Due to that, the last shell electron is more tightly bound by the nucleus, attracted by the nucleus. So more and more amount of energy is required to remove the ionization potential. Thus, from left to right, and one move from left to right, ionization potential is increases. So especially remember this, in exam the variation of IP can be asked. How it changes when one move from left to right, then we can say that it is increases left to right. Let's take the example of the element of the group period second. Lithium, beryllium, boron, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon. Lithium, beryllium, when we move from lithium to beryllium to carbon to the fluorine and neon, the ionization potential is goes on increases because atomic size decreases, nuclear charge increases, number of shell remain the same, and due to that the contraction in size takes place and ionization potential is increases. Now next is down the group. How the ionization potential changes when one move from top to bottom in a group. In a group, ionization potential is decreases because atomic size is increases and effective nuclear charges decreases. Why the atomic size is increases down the group? Because the number of shell is goes on increases successively. Let's take the example of the group first A. That is a first group, alkali metals, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium and cesium. Lithium is in the second period, sodium in third period, potassium in fourth period, rubidium in fifth period and cesium in sixth period. It means that are the same number of the shell also present in them. Lithium having the 2 shell, sodium having the 3 shell, potassium having the 4 shell, rubidium having the 5 shell, cesium having the 6 shell. Due to the addition of the new shell in a new element, when we move from top to bottom, the atomic size is increases. Atomic size increases and effective nuclear charge, due to the addition of new shell, effective nuclear charges decreases, and thus the last shell electron is loosely binded with the nucleus. So less amount of energy is required to remove the electron, and result that the IP is decreases. Now we have to remember the special note related with this. The first is that helium will have the highest ionization potential because it have a stable electronic configuration. It have only one shell which is also completely filled with the 2 electron. So more and maximum highest amount of energy is required to remove that electron. Due to that, helium have the highest ionization potential energy. In exam, this can be asked, name the element which has the highest ionization potential, that is a helium. Next one is the cesium having the lowest ionization potential, because the cesium having the 6 shells in its atom, and it have the maximum size. Only 1 electron is present in the cesium because the cesium belongs to the group of the alkali metal, that is the first group element. So it have a 1 shell in electron, 1 electron in its last shell, and it have the maximum 6 shell also. So due to its highest atomic size, lowest number of electron, as the electron is loosely bounded by the nucleus, so it is very easy to donate. Thus the cesium having the lowest IP. The name of element which have the lowest IP can be asked, that is the cesium. Also can be asked as a give reason that the cesium having the lowest ionization potential. Why? So we can say that the cesium belongs to the first A group, so it having only 1 electron. It present in the 6th period, so it have a 6 shell. Due to its highest maximum atomic size, the nuclear charge is very less, and the last electron is very loosely binded with the nucleus. So less amount of energy is required to donate it. Thus the cesium having the lowest ionization potential. And then we should remember that the metals have the tendency to donate the electron, so they always have the low ionization potential, whereas the non-metals having always the tendency to accept the electron, so it have the high ionization potential. Now successive ionization potential, what it means? Let's consider this. X is any element, atom of any element. It is donating one electron due to the apply of some amount of energy, so that it can convert into the cation, say X plus. Now in this X plus, as the cations always have the low atomic size as compared with the parent atom, and the number of proton also remain the same in the cation as compared with the number of electron. The number of proton is more as compared with the number of electron. So the nuclear charge is more in case of the cation. So this cation, when lose one more electron, it will be use the more amount of energy to remove the second electron to form the divalent cation, and thus the second ionization potential will be always more than the first ionization potential. These two ionization potential of each other, they are called as the successive ionization potential. The second ionization potential is always greater than the first ionization potential because the cation have always greater nuclear charge, smaller atomic size as compared with the parent atom. So it takes more energy to donate the electron, and thus divalent cation when formed, it will be takes the more amount of energy. So we can say that the second ionization potential is greater than the first ionization potential because the nuclear charge is more in the monovalent cation and the atomic size is less of the monovalent cation as compared with the parent atom. So this question can be asked in two different ways. What do you mean by successive ionization potential? And also it can be asked that why the second ionization potential will be always greater than the first ionization potential. So up to this point we completed the ionization potential. Students, remember that as we are completing all these different points in the videos, you please go through the textbook also. Simultaneously read the same topic so that you can understand them in better way. So in the next video, we will continue with the next topic. Thank you.